Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again, as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights, with the responsibility of identifying the trickeries and the shenanigans of evil out there, that ugly stuff, to expose it, and at the same time offer some alternatives. And this is why I'm constantly making posts, because all day long it's happening all around. And even though it's not new, we've been going along with it. And right now, the hope is that people will begin to wake up. At least this is what's happening in nature to cause an awakening. You know, people are talking about Trump's chances of perhaps becoming president again. To me, that is the saddest and the sickest statement that anyone could be making about the people of America. That such a criminal who have violated all the rules, who has stood up before the world so far and shown the world and America that in America, white power is supreme. It is white supremacy. He has stood up before the world and America and walked all over the Constitution, corrupted people in government to violate the Constitution, sent many of them to prison, got some of them out, and still walking around with 74 million people accepting all of this ugliness and all of this evilness that he has been championing since he's come on that scene. And they're still supporting him because he's walking out. He's still walking straight over America, walking over every American today. He's walking over every American, saying he is the one. Ain't getting away with it. I just can't comprehend that, except the truth be told. But here is the reason, ladies and gentlemen. You see, white people in America supports that. They go along with that because when we talk about white supremacy, we are talking about all of that. White people. Man, my battery's going dead. I can't get that power. Give me a chance to see if I can find that power base. Oops. That's a part of it. Where's the other part? Wait a minute, No, that's not it. Well, let's see if I can get it together before it cuts out on me, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to start this over because it is the real deal. You see what I'm saying? It's the real deal. And now I'm back with a new burst of power. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what I was saying is this. It is about white supremacy. It's about white power. See, ever since this nation has been established, it has been done under the auspices of white supremacy. And whites have been privileged all the while. And being privileged, they have lost their way. Being privileged, they were permitted to walk over and upon others, to abuse them, exploit them, under the idea that it was their right, that they deserved it. And so as far as trying to get them to step over and step back, that's not going to be happening. No, that will not be happening. And black Americans, who have been here all that time, are still asleep. They are still asleep if they think that after all of these years, that under some kind of deception, you can sit up and negotiate with these white people who are white supremacists, who are willing to tear this nation down and violate every law that's existed to keep you, people of color, at bay. You think you can sit up and negotiate freedom with them? Are you out of your mind? Do you really think that you can negotiate Do you think a truth and a lie can be negotiated? That lie is not going to change. And if it is, it's just switching to a different lie. So, what does it give the truth to water itself down to say that it accomplished something, that it saved something? That's all a trick, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know that it's nothing but a trick. And another thing that has gotten my attention is this thing where people are saying, I'm not going to take the vaccine because it's my right. It's about freedom. And you've heard many people say that with freedom comes responsibility. You violate the responsibility and you automatically lose your freedom. No doubt about that. Let me give you an example. You got a kid. Kid wants to use the car. Go out, talk you into it, gonna be good, be responsible. You get a kid the car, runs out, grab his friends, go get some beer, start running around drag racing, have a fender bender. Come back home, you see the fender bender the next morning. You talk to him, he just says, well, Dad, Mom, and explains it out. So he wants to use the car tonight, the next night. Do you allow that kid who has shown that he has no intent whatsoever on being responsible, but doing exactly what he want to do you give that kid that car? Do you give that kid the car? You might say, well, I love him. Well, how much do you love him? Do you love him enough to put that dangerous machine back in his hand, knowing that he's going to be irresponsible and let him go out there and take a chance on killing himself just because you love him? Or do you love him enough to say, no, I'm not going to give you this car until you learn how to be responsible? Is that what you say? Well, then, if there's a virus going around killing people, and you have a sector set up to define and offer solutions to this problem, and actually apply it, give it to the people, and the people start getting better, and you got a group of people over there saying, well, I'm not going to take it, for whatever the reason might be. Maybe it's religious, maybe it's your health, whatever it is, you can't take that, and that's your freedom. But you also have the responsibility of not coming around people who can catch it from you and die. That's a responsibility that you have. Maybe if you took the vaccine, it would take away and you can be able to mingle with everybody else because you know how to exercise responsibility. But when you are selfish and don't care, that's why they say you have to separate you. Some people who are menace to society, they put them in prison. Sometimes you have to exile them. But you got to play. You don't come into the community. You have to, especially if you don't know how and refuse to exercise a measure of responsibility. And so you just have to accept that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those of you who are constantly believing that you have the right to not wear masks and stuff like this, that's the American way. I can understand where you come from. You're coming especially from that old school that you've been taught all the time that they call it selfishness. You do what you want to do regardless of everybody else. And if you're the right shade in America, you can get away with it. So I guess what I'm saying at this moment in time is this. It is absolutely, I can't understand it. It is ridiculous that you got a group of people walking around this nation telling lies, and you know that they're lies, and you're talking about these lies every day, all day long. You're talking about these lies and these people who's lying and why they are lying, and you're just talking about these people and the lies and the lies. Why do you think this thing is going like this? I mean, seriously, why do you think it is continuing like this? It is because the people refuse to do the right thing. You refuse to do the right thing. You keep talking about passing this rule, passing this legislation. You keep talking about what's going on in Texas and how they're trying to abuse people. Do you know? Don't you know If you did the right thing, if you applied yourself in the right way, you wouldn't care. No one care about what's going on in Texas, because you're going to make sure what? That everybody got access to what? Everything that everybody else got access to. That's what you're going to do. You're going to. That's righteous. And you don't have to be a part of a political party to be righteous. If the political parties are not righteous and you're righteous, you're not a part of that. You stand alone. You say, well, I can't accomplish anything. The hell you can't accomplish. You accomplish everything when you're right. You stand for right. You can't be defeated, so they kill you. That's what they're supposed to do to righteous people. In hell, you are supposed to be killed, and you're supposed to be grateful to get out of this stinking hell. What you gonna do? Stay after you've awakened. What you gonna do? Stay in this hell just to get another meal? Just to have another night out on the town? Just to drive your car one more time? You're gonna live in hell, go through bondage and all of that just to do what you've been doing all the time? Well, that's the way of the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, just think about that, okay? I'm not telling you what to do, except please think about it.